eno ye Extra Media UJ. Subscribe for all updates.
In the future, government definitely shall reduce domestic borrowing because we are working on how to mobilize more revenue. As you will see in that budget, or you have already seen, our main emphasis going forward is mobilization of more revenue to finance the budget. We are going to raise about 45 trillion shillings from direct tax revenue, raising from, you remember the low base from which we are coming. Just about 10 years ago, where were we? 45 trillion would finance over 80% of the discretionary budget. And as we improve, all of us, that area, if we can get to about 20% of GDP and we mobilize it as revenue, we shall need less domestically borrowed money. Of course, also, they have told you we are getting some oil this year. It will add on some revenue, especially for infrastructure development, because oil money is earmarked for infrastructure. We are also improving on how to work with the private sector. We are under public-private partnerships, so that some of these things we borrow for can be done by the private sector. We de-risk them, and then like some of the roads which my colleagues are trying to build, we are about to close the first one, the first major PPP of that Kampala-Jinja Expressway. The private firm will bring in money. We de-risk them by buying the land and also compensating all other affected people. And they build the road, they toll it and recover their money. Then they hand over the road in the future. Those initiatives are going to be scaled and put. So don't worry, government will reduce in the future. And maybe we shall have now another conversation. You might find that what you thought was the problem was not actually the problem. Because I usually also tell you that we borrow on behalf of the private sector, whom you are saying we are crowding out. A number of the people who are getting government programs cannot be welcome in the private sector. I mean in the bank, because they are not creditworthy. Just think of the money going to PDM beneficiaries, going to Emioga, going to some of these programs worth funds which are going to be highlighted by the minister in the budget speech. Most of those beneficiaries may not be actually, even if the interest rate was 5%, they wouldn't be welcome in the bank, because the banker doesn't trust that they will pay back. Sometimes they just look at you and say, you're not likely to pay. Have assessed. Others, of course, have very clear challenges. Dr. Arthur, on the financing of local governments, we are improving, but also I want you, going forward, to start looking at what is the little they are doing. What is it doing? I've been saying, and I want to expound to all of us, the problem of this country is no longer money. No. We have some money now. We have some money to do certain things. It's not money, it's not policy. The problem is implementation discipline. The way we execute our projects, the way we spend our money, we need also now to put emphasis. Those local governments, as you talk, of course some of them do a very good job, but there are those that need to improve. So let's concentrate more effort now on accountability, on procurement. That's why we are going to emphasize reforms in procurement. How do we make procurement more results-oriented and not procedures? How many committees sat? They even have a waiting period. They have finished everything, but they wait for someone to complain. If it is not there, they can solicit for one to complain, and so on and so forth. Those things, they are the ones we must. Then the way we buy also the things, even if they have agreed, in every small office in Uganda, there are committees that have sat to buy a computer, to buy a car, to buy boxes of water. No, these can be put together and we buy them and enjoy economies of scale. We are also looking at how do we implement these projects, the project implementation, to improve it, and value for money. These are the things I would want us, if you have built something like this building, is there value for money? Or is it worth the money? Sometimes people come to my office and say, oh, you have a very nice building here in finance. I ask some of them, how much do you think we have spent on this building? If I asked here, you will see different figures. Of course, all of us are guessing, but value for money starts with that. Then eventually, when I tell them what we have spent, I will not tell you, of course, because we shall invite you and we launch this building and we give you all the details. All of the details. You need to have value for money, where you feel that this thing is worth the amount of money. But you go to some of these areas in the country, they tell you that that road, they spent so much money. But the road, much as it is maram, you can also be driving on it and you see that here, they ate 2 layers of maram. Someone ate it. These are the challenges I want you Ugandans for us to address. And I think Jane alluded to that by talking about the coffee, the example of coffee. I like that. Jane, I want to assure you that we are doing Operation Revamp Agriculture under the ATMs, under the 10-fold growth strategy. And we have worked with our partners, our colleagues in the government, to improve research in agriculture. Narrow, Nagric. If you went to Narrow, you will never hear any more things like we are not funded, we are funded by partners. Narrow is funded by government and it will be funded to ensure that they do research. Nagric, as the minister will tell you, they have come up with very beautiful things now. Now on coffee itself and the others. Then we are also looking at standards. Those soft things, standards and certification. And here on coffee, we are actually doing an online export system. We are developing and we are having an online export system under the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, so that all our coffee is traceable. We can support its movement right from the seedling up to the export market. Then extension services. We are also now addressing extension services in practical terms, both the numbers of extension workers and their facilitation to reach the farmer. in the garden, not to do extension on television or radio. You know, at one point, some people are saying, you're wasting money there. Let the extension worker go to the radio. You know, farming is mighty easy if your garden is a building like this, and your hoe is a pen or a microphone. You can say whatever, but farming is quite different from the. So we want the extension workers to go to the farmers, and we have supported the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Local Government to get more numbers and more money to support those extension workers to reach the farmers. Then inspection. How do we inspect to ensure that all of these things we are talking about are done in the right way, that the inputs are of good quality, that those we have given the resources to do extension, they are doing it, and so on and so forth. We have also put more money in a appropriate financing of these farmers. Appropriate financing, right from the micro farmer up to the large scale farmer. Whatever I'm talking about is not about plans. No, it is in the budget we are talking about. That's the money you see the DB has increased for agriculture, for agro-industrialization. It's going in those areas to support. Then the inputs. The inputs and what agricultural people recently, they taught me, they call it fertigation. Fertigation, fertilizer and irrigation combined. That's where we are putting resources now, so that farmers can grow coffee, can grow vegetables and fruits and so on, even when the rains are not there, because we have enough water. So the budget that we are launching to start communicating has all of these resources to ensure that we can do all of these things. And I want to assure you they are all export oriented. We are doing export oriented agro-industrialization now. We must be producing for export. The eating here is bonus, but we want dollars to come from coffee, from fruits and vegetables. We want to start exporting beef. That's why we are working on all those diseases which have been affecting us, as you will hear in the budget. PSFU, finally, for you I don't have words. You have confirmed it. The entire budget is private sector oriented. You informed it fully. For our job was to listen to what you told us, and we included it in this budget. So now I turn to the DB's speech. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the launch of this National Budget Month for next financial year 2026-27. On my own behalf and on behalf of the entire team at this ministry, we really want to welcome you, because the law is clear. The Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171. It's clear. The budget is prepared in consultation with the key stakeholders, including all of you, as you are here, private sector, civil society, religious leaders, our cultural leaders. We consult everybody, development partners. It's not a budget of government that government sits and thinks. No, the law commands us to consult the public, the media. The media tells us what to do. When I read the headline that there is something which is done somewhere wrongly and we need to improve it, we sit in these meetings of ours and we say, did you see that headline? And we respond by addressing it. So this process of preparing the budget for next year started in July last year. July, immediately we were starting the financial year, we started the process. When we are implementing the financial year's budget, we started the process. And this involved nationwide consultations with all stakeholders. We consulted His Excellency the President because he's the leader of whatever we do. He guides the strategic direction of the budget. We consulted the Cabinet, we consulted the Parliament, we consulted ministries, departments, and agencies. We consulted the civil society. Julie has told you here. We consulted the private sector, you have heard. We consulted local governments and missions abroad. We consulted development partners. We consulted academia. Even community leaders, we consulted them. The youth were consulted. Younger people, what do you want to see in the budget? And they gave us feedback. You'll find a lot of things there. Creative. I sit in my office with all artists. I know them now. They tell UPS, for us, we want 3 things. Number 1, our copyright law must be enacted. The copyright law has been enacted. Number 2, we want money, revolving fund, to support us wherever we are recording music or we have a show. We can get some money and then we pay back. We put that money in the budget. We want a home where we can go and record, like a common user facility. So buy us a home, put the machines there. We know the machines for us. Don't go into your procurement. Give us the money, they will buy us the wrong microphones. You will give us the money and buy. We are doing all these things. Okay? We also consulted persons with disabilities. What do you want to see changing in the budget? And as well as if we don't trust all of those people we have consulted, we consulted all the citizens. We went region by region on radio, in town halls, but also we had a budget conference. Somebody puts up a hand and say, you people of finance and the government, you are doing things wrong. We want them this way. And we listened. So it's a highly consultative process. The input from all of those consultations informed this budget, which was approved by Parliament on the 24th of April this year. And the theme, it is there. You can see it. That's the theme of the budget: full monetization of Uganda's economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. Mouthful, but purposeful as well. Every word you see there, we mean it. And it is the theme we are going to continue with to guide us. Effective budgeting, as already I think DB alluded to it, goes beyond preparing a sound budget. It also requires implementation so that those intended outcomes can be realized. Therefore, we are saying that these calls for meaningful participation of key stakeholders throughout the entire budget cycle, including planning, execution, monitoring, oversight, cannot work if this budget is not implemented. That's where all of us should put the effort. It is therefore against that background that following the appropriation of the budget, This ministry collaborates again with you, our partners, to ensure that we can popularize this budget for every Ugandan to know it. I want every Ugandan to know what this budget is all about, where is the money, for what purpose, and you follow it up. The budget is a big thing. It has so many things. But in summary, our budget is about driving Uganda into the tenfold growth. It's about ATMs and the enablers. The rest are the details of running government and so on. But our budget and a big chunk of the money in it is in ATMs. Those are 4 things. ATMs is agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral development, and then science, technology, and innovation. Those are the drivers of growth. And we are saying, for those to work, there must be enablers. We have 7 enablers. One is security. You can't grow agriculture, whether you are irrigating or what, within security. That's why the president usually tells those people who say, you are spending a lot of money for security, and yet it should be in agriculture. He says, you can't cultivate in Somalia. What are you doing here? Go to where there is land there, in Congo. Congo is more fertile than Uganda. Why don't you go and set up there a garden of coffee in eastern Congo? Go and try. So security is one of the enablers. Number 2, infrastructure. And in infrastructure, we have transport infrastructure headed by my colleague there, P.S. Waiswa, works. By the way, a big chunk of money in this budget is his to support the transport of everything we are talking about. You can't have tourists. Already, Morris has put me at notes. His road is also becoming a tourism attraction. We must do it. That's why we are saying, when you are analyzing this budget, civil society, private sector, and everybody, let us not just compartmentalize it. And I've been telling my people, this tendency of saying, how much is in tourism? How much is in agriculture? No, that's not how it works. Some of the money for tourism is not in the tourism sector. It's with the Mr. Waiswa to do the road which goes to that tourism site. Because without it, you will not go there to see the beautiful gorillas. You will not. Some of the money is in security, because in certain areas, now there is Ebola. I'm going to give some of the money to health in our contingency fund to first take Ebola out of Uganda. Because you have seen now, countries have told their people, don't go to Uganda, don't go to Congo. There is Ebola. Now for you are there. Tourism, tourism. How will you have tourism when there is Ebola? So this budget is therefore inter and intra of those sectors we talk about. When we're analyzing it, we need to bring in that nuance so that people understand it and appreciate it. Then we have also electricity, among the enablers, electricity. All of those things we have talked about, the ATMs, cannot work without electricity. You will not add value to agricultural materials when you don't have electricity. You will not even charge your phone so that you can take a selfie in a national park when there is no electricity. You will not do science and innovation without electricity. So we have invested a lot of money in electricity generation, transmission, and distribution. The other enabler is industrial parks. investing in industrial parks. We have chosen industrial park model for us to develop all of those things we are talking about, manufacturing, adding value. We want all of those investors to go in a place where they can find a concentration of these key infrastructure requirements. The other enabler is the human capital development now. Health and education and water for human consumption. Without those, you don't have a country. You don't have any growth. It will not make sense. We need Ugandans who are educated, but also healthy. So we are investing both in preventive and curative health, in education. You have had we are being appreciated for investing in the stadia. Ugandans with observables, AFCON, stadia. But there are those quiet investments which are done every day, and the outcomes are in the form of improved literacy and the longevity of life. Ugandans are no longer dying the way they used to die. We die, but now the average year of dying age is 68 years. In this room, I don't know how many people are 68. Those who are 68, you're on bonus now. But most of us in this room are below 68. You still have some good years. Your parents had a life expectancy of 45 years. That was the life expectancy of Uganda in the 80s. 45 years. Now, 45, we're already there, most of us. So we would be now counting the number of years remaining. But you can see we have now plans, even those who are 60, 68, you are also planning the future. That can only happen with investment in human capital development, in both education and healthcare. People who are educated tend also to be healthier than those who are not educated. Because the school teaches us a few things. Don't drink water which is not boiled. And you will boil. Uneducated people tend to be wiseacres. You tell you, boil water, they say you are killing nutrients. Sleep in a net, it is hot. Don't do this. They have always those wild ideas. They say, for me, I go to the witch. Now, education of more Ugandans is helping Uganda to get higher life expectancy. The other enabler we are looking at is irrigation. Irrigation is an enabler. Then we have the rest: domestic revenue mobilization, regional markets. So, ladies and gentlemen, the budget, the national budget of Uganda is about ATMs and those enablers. The rest is a detail. That's where the big chunk of money is in this budget. Over 85% of the money we have allocated is in those areas. So these engagements, therefore, and communication with the citizens during this national budget month are critical. With the collaboration which we have had with these partners since 2018, they are anchored on a number of objectives. There are 5. Number 1, we want to ensure transparency and openness in the budget process. Everybody to know what is in the budget. Number 2, we want to report back to the citizens on the status of implementation, on the commitments we made in the previous year. We want also to highlight the opportunities available in the coming budget, so that you know which opportunities are there and you take advantage. We want also to gather feedback from the public to guide future budgets. How can we keep on improving? And finally, we want to ensure inclusive and timely access to the information, so that if there is anything that you want to ask, the director budget is here, the DST is there, the taxman is there, debt is there, Who is not here? Everybody. The treasury. Sometimes local governments were lying to my civil society. Finance delays release of money. Even media. Treasury is there. You can now ask them, when do you send the money to each and every local government? There is nothing like a delayed release of money in Uganda. It is a delayed execution by those lazy people who are now having excuses. And we want now this budget month to help in highlighting all of this and giving you the information. So we have a platform which is going to help us to communicate the budget effectively and empower you, the stakeholders, to monitor it so that we can be able to improve the budget performance. So we are going to have physical and virtual dialogues, especially now that we are in a period when they tell you don't congregate so much, space yourselves. But I saw a concert on social media. Yeah? I saw a concert, people were dancing, and I was wondering why, but that's for another day. But we are going to use more of the radio, the television, the social media, customized publications, and the civil society organizations, so that we can communicate to the public during this month. In this regard, the ministry, together with the Budget Transparency and Accountability partners, have been jointly planning this month, and we are here today to launch it. As a result of these efforts, there have been greater partnership, public partnership, and our rating, they have already told you, we are rating very well. We have moved from 58% in 2021 to 59%, only 1 percentage point, but that is good. Against a global average, the global average is 45%, so we are excellent actually. You know, when you are the tallest pygmy, you are wonderful. And then on budget oversight, we have moved from 59% in 2021 to 67%. Okay? Against a global average of 52. We are above averages of the world. However, affirmative action is required on public participation in the budget process. Our rating reduced to 15 from 19%. The global average is 14. Still we are above, but we don't want to be with the average. We want to be excellent. I will actually want Julius and team to break down for me what do we need to do further to engender more public participation. I thought really in Uganda we are even overdoing it. What do you want us to do? To tell the public to budget, to be the one to produce the budget? What? I would like to know that. What we need to do.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tuchaddeko ewa Sheikh Asiraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyusa okubalaba amannya agange Seeka Asiraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tunywa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulombeddwa abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombereddwa ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala maneetaase enamba yange yeno eri 0707763711 namwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku ddwa ng'olina ebizibu viza zibuze amaka gakolongotana sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amanyago ebyo byokka bijja kummala nja kukulombera eddwa ojja kutereera olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'eddwa eyawamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.